Sure. 1, 2, 3, say go.
Everybody say something.
Go.
Say go. Say go on 3. Okay? 1,
Okay.
2, go.
Go.
Go. I'm sorry.
Go.
Say go
Oh my lord.
on 3. 1, 2, go.
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 No.
So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans.
Well, it's boys night out, and don't you know we're gonna scream and shout, oh no, oh, well, it's boys night out, and we ain't gonna...
Hello and welcome to the club. I'm your host, Mars Hamill, and this is the Upper 90 Club, a roundtable podcast where 5 friends see how many Star Wars jokes they can tell while they discuss the Columbus Crew. On this episode, we've got a lot. We review the Crew's match day of the match year, the 6-1 thumping of Atlanta from Saturday's Battle at the Death Star,
All right.
or as Ben has cleverly dubbed, a Crew Hope episode title. We embark on our second installment of the Shootout with Chris Deville, where we put our crew trivia chops to the test, and we get a quick capybara review from the crew Discord's PrezBird. And finally, we look ahead to the crew's match with Real Salt Lake on April 1st, which I'm told by the wise men is when the fools rush in. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, at Upper 90 Club Pod, and now YouTube at Upper 90 Club. That's it, Upper 90 Club.
Upper 90 Club. Yep.
And
Not at Upper 90 Club.
Right, it's just at
Just
Upper 90 Club.
at.
And you can email us questions and comments to podcast@upper90club.com. With me, as always, in the club. Well, okay. With me in the club are Mort, Trey, and Haas, and Ben is in some kind of boiler room in Hocking Hills. Video not available. You may hear his life support machine beeping occasionally, or his granola bar wrapper crinkling. He tells us that he's in duress. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi guys. So
All right. So, I mean, I'm not like a big warhead. What are they called? Star Wars?
It's like Warhead, the candy.
Not much of a nuclear guy, but
Yeah. Well, so, I don't know all the trivia, but I'm sure there's some analog. Maybe maybe Ben is like Han Solo and he's like a leaden statue or whatever. Doesn't he get frozen at some point? I'm showing my ignorance. Okay.
yeah.
So, but what was the game like? So, Mort, I know you were at the game. What was that like?
yeah, it was great, and man, first of all, what a windy day. So it's one of those days where it was you coming in, you think it's okay, it's windy, but it's all right.
Oh,
And then the sun goes down and said, I
Yeah.
should have brought another coat. And I, a little special of a game, I had my full family, so all 4 of us, my wife, my 2 kids, and also my parents
Wow.
coming in from Norway. So they were attending their first crew game. So so that was a good experience. So whatever the weather didn't allow us to enjoy, the performance warmed the heart.
Well, so were you dressed up? Were you?
Not enough. I have to admit this. When we're up 6-1, it was about 15 minutes left. The family decided it was about time to.
And I
warm
guess
up
I
in the
meant
car.
like, were you wearing a costume? Like, were there a bunch of people in like?
Oh,
Star
I would say
Wars gear?
few people.
there were few. I saw some hairdos. I saw some T-shirts and like sweatshirts and stuff like that. And some people are wearing some Chewbacca kind of like a PJ thing and some things
So it
like
was-
that. But no,
Not that I saw.
I knew what he was
Oh.
going for.
Yes.
No, it was too cold.
Yeah.
Ben.
There were
No.
plenty of shirtless men in the Nordic partway through the game, partway through the second half.
So, and I saw a picture of
Yes, a
Trey and
job-
Haas.
yeah,
You guys
Wookiees.
were both there too, right?
Yep.
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 Well,
it was definitely cold, but I mean, I did the smart thing and actually wore an extra jacket.
yeah.
So
I wore more than I wanted to getting out of the car, and I'm sure it wasn't as bad as the second upper deck where Mort was.
Yeah, I'm used to sitting down there in the bottom there and with the wind in the back, so he's kind of shielded. But sitting on the opposite side with the wind coming in,
Yeah.
that was a new
Yep.
experience.
I had actually thought about coming to the game. My birthday was last week, and my wife was like, "Oh, you should just get out of town." And
Happy
then
belated.
yeah, we've only described last week as the worst week of our lives because like our entire family was sick, all 4 kids. It was horrible, and I would not have survived a trip to Columbus. But after seeing the scoreline, man, it sounded like it would have been great. So sorry I missed it. Okay, well, there's Ben. I see his video just popped back up. So for the viewers, if you see a new blurry image on our YouTube channel, that
May or
That's
may
bad.
not be Ben.
oh my.
it's kind of like got a Sasquatch vibe.
hmm
Okay, well, so let's shift and kind of go through that game. Let's talk about the Atlanta game. We'll start with the first half. Haas, there were many changes to the lineups. Do you want to run through that?
Yeah, so as we discussed in the last episode, players missing due to international call-up, players missing due to injury. We had Schulte starting in goal, Quinton, Vallecea, and Morera in the back, Sands, Morris, Nagby, and Farsi, the middle, Jason Russell-Rowe, Matan, and Ramirez up top. So pretty much the same formation, same midfield, and some changes in the way back and changes up top.
Now, I know that we talked about the changes in Atlanta's lineup just to reinforce the fact that they had a lot of big names out as well. I don't know that their formation was different than usual, but they were playing with a different group for sure.
I think they had a total of 7 players missing, and I think 4 of them were recently regular starters. One of them had just started their first game, so 3 or 4 starters.
Okay. All right. Well, so first half, what'd you guys think? How did everyone play? Ben, you with us?
Yeah, I mean, I think to answer his question, no, I think they were missing more than we were. I know we were missing Zelrayon and Room in the back, and Deganik, but it seemed to have a lot
And
bigger impact
Cucho.
on them. And Cucho, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily counting him just because that was more of an injury. We're going to be dealing with that going forward. But no, I mean, I think probably the players that came in played better than their players, but they were also, I mean, replacing that many players on a lineup, that's going to screw you up. We at least had the core of our team there.
Yeah, and Cucho has not been producing. The switch in goalkeeper is not really a material change unless they've got a bunch of shots on goal, right? I guess I'd have to look at the stats in the first half of how many shots on goal they had, but was Schulte really challenged? Yeah.
Yeah. I think they had 2
Okay.
shots on goal.
1. This
And
was
one
a
went
very
in.
rare game where every single shot on goal, not very rare, there's been more than a handful of them throughout the time of MLS, every single shot on goal went in.
Oh,
Okay, so they had 2 shots, one in goal,
Okay.
and then one on the outside.
Yeah.
Pretty much
Okay.
from the same place.
okay. So, what do you guys think about how the team performed in the first half? Certainly fewer show-stopping results as the second half, but I thought they looked pretty good. What do you think?
I think from our sitting, there was clearly a little bit confusion and a lot. People were thinking a lot. It was almost like every time somebody got the ball, they were thinking, okay, where am I told to pass this ball? So it was was not very fluent. We had possession. We're safe with the ball, but it kind of was very static. It felt like, okay, from here to here, from here to here, and then back around and back around. And it was a few times where we kind of got to an opportunity and we just pulled it back and we knocked it around again. And even Nagby seemed to be kind of like, okay, I guess I got to look for this square pass. So it was no fluidity to it at all, and that's part of that is probably there's a lot of new faces, a lot of for how we were going to play, how we're going to involve these players that haven't played, like Ramirez and even Russell Rowe in new positions that obviously move and act in a different way than some of the players we normally have.
And they had to keep the ball on the ground.
Yeah, anything up high was getting impacted by it.
Yeah. Any long ball we impacted, even sometimes when you saw some of those balls that were, passed hard on the floor, on the ground across the field, you can see it kind of was sucked a little bit. So a lot of the errors that might just see in passing and so on. I think Nagby had like his first 2 passes, I think was like out of bounds or missed pass, which you never see, right? So that was a factor. The wind did calm down actually throughout the game.
And we had that pretty early goal from Morris that was kind of like it's almost like a scrum goal, right? It was like, I think on the broadcast they called it right place at the right time. I mean, I think he played the opportunity well, but Hawes, you want to?
Yeah, kind of pure hustle. 14th minute, Matan is driving the ball in from the right side. I thought it was weird that like none of the defense was stepping to Matan. He was basically at the top of the box and just cutting in. And I don't know if there was some confusion there, but anyway, he plays a ball in. It kind of gets popped up into the air from a defender over one of his teammates, where Morris is kind of making his move in and diving header Cucho style into the back of the net.
Yeah, and you mentioned Matan being open. It seemed like that was the second or third play that had that same kind of construction where they were playing up that right side, serving Matan to kind of bring it in, play it in. He wasn't necessarily like crossing it. He was kind of dribbling it in and then making things happen. So I think that was the last time I saw that in that set of 10 or 20 minutes. But when I watched the replay, it was hard to find the actual goal because there were so many plays that kind of looked like that leading up to it.
Yeah, I would say we will get back to goals and stuff, but the only thing that was missing from his performance was a goal.
Yep.
I thought it was excellent.
What else in the first half that stood out to you guys?
Not a whole lot. I mean,
no.
You could tell they were trying to piece it together.
Yeah.
And I guess it helped having, so many players that played for Crew 2 last year on the field at the same time. So while it was still kind of making things work with the parts of the first team as well, but Quentin, Farsi, Sands, Matan had some time with Crew 2. Schulte. Yeah, it was just took some time to gel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they took confidence. They built confidence as the half went on. But I thought after that goal, I got the score right. They're just going to write it out and be kind of like smart about it. And just, I have to say the rest of that first half was not a very highly entertaining game. So I was thinking, okay, this is what we have in our hands. And Boy, that was wrong.
Yeah, so
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys, that's boys with a Z, at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
let's talk about the second half. And things got started quickly. He scored. Ramirez scored 47th minute. Hawes, talk us through that one.
Yeah, so like you said, 47th minute, Matan plays a ball through to Jason Russell Rowe at the left edge of the 18-yard box. Russell Rowe plays a left-footed ball towards the penalty box where Ramirez finds an opening and takes a first-time left-footed shot just over Guzan.
Yeah.
A beautiful strike, hit it on the sweet spot and just hammered it back in the net. No, or did he kind of hit it, shanked it down on the ground?
It was a little bit loopy over top. I was surprised Guzan didn't get to it.
He was so flat. He was so flat-footed from that ball. It was great. So it was one of those you kind of like willed it in. It seemed like it was in the air for a really long time, alive. But it was great.
Olin, so 47th minute, was there enough time to assess what changes were made at the half? Do you feel like
I think Atlanta made a sub right at the end of the first half. I don't recall who or what position that was.
Yeah, they had to start. They
subbed Tyler Wolf in for Andrew Gutman.
Yeah, and Andrew Gutman is a starter on that team. He had an injury,
but it was a striker for a defender. So
and that's when they slid Wiley to the back. So 51st minute. 51st minute, Quentin scores. It is from a corner kick that Matan plays
was great.
Basically the center of the box.
Yeah. Big man.
And Quentin heads it in. I mean, he gets kind of around one defender and behind another that just misses the header. Great goal.
He looked especially 7 feet tall after that goal.
Big Bird with a big goal. And let's be real. That's the spot he should be playing in this team. Let's say go a couple of years down the road or next year as he grow in experience, that should be his spot. He's the big guy. He should be in the center of the defense right there. And I agree. I think he was really solid. And of course, getting on the score sheet with a goal.
Well, and Dagenek's playing right back for Australia. I don't know, right center back? Maybe, could see a shift there in the future. Also, add one vote towards Matan taking corner kicks over Zelarayan. Because he put them all over the first defender, even in the wind.
Yeah.
64th minute, Ramirez scores. Morera he steps at basically center field into the offensive side of the field and takes the ball away. And he sees Ramirez making a splitting run between the two center backs, plays it to him. Ramirez takes a touch, puts it right past Guzan with his right foot.
Oh, calm finish. Was good stuff right there. He seems like one of those players. It was like he's moving so slow, but nobody's catching up with him. So I think he's one of those deceivingly fast guys. Because I was thinking, yeah, like a gazelle. So So no, it was a good goal, good finish. So I can't say anything about that. I think that was right after he had blown one like halfway over Nordecke, like from the penalty
Guzan
spot
was
on the
wishing
cross.
that he had retired already. I mean, he's old, man.
I mean, that step from Herrera, though, to turn the ball over, that's something we've been doing the past few games, is turning the ball over at that point in the field. So it was great to see it the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stepped up.
Then the 68th minute,
Ben's life support machine is still functional. I'm glad to report. All right.
68th minute, Jason Russell Rowe. Farsi's played down the right side of the field where he's kind of pushing towards the box and cuts the ball back towards the top of the box. Ramirez lets the ball go by. He totally could have, I mean, it wasn't that close to him, but I think he was enough to distract a little bit. Lets the ball go by him to where Jason Russell Rowe is there to slot it past Guzan.
That was a quality finish, an absolute quality finish. That was a beauty. I think that was the game of the match.
Game of the match.
Goal of the match.
It was the day of the match game.
Goal of the match week. Yeah.
Day of the match day goal.
Goal game.
Miss,
You know
just
what I mean.
real quick note. Let's see. Between those two goals, Atlanta had another sub.
Games.
Sedic out, Lopez in. Another midfielder out for a striker. That was in the 65th minute. So that the Pirate goal was 68th minute JRR.
And then the crowd started going, "We want 6. We want 6." And then
yeah. Yeah, I think
is correct.
Yeah. Haas was saying earlier that every shot on goal went in this game.
So then,
go ahead, Haas.
71st minute, maybe offside leading up to this. I've got some screenshots that are sent. It is close. Of course, Apple does not have the camera angle to show us if he's actually offside because they're both just slightly from either towards the center of the field or towards the corner. But nonetheless, I mean, Aiden Morris is trying to break up a play around the box. He literally knocks the ball away from 2 Atlanta players, and it drops to a third one, Lennon, and he just takes a first-time shot that sneaks right past Sands and also past Schulte to make it 5-1.
Schulte got like a little bit of a finger on it, I believe, like just a little touch. So no, that was a good finish. It could have been offside. It was well executed. A little bit of luck, I would say. But what I liked about that goal was the second we set up to kick off, the crowd was already singing, "We want 6."
Yeah.
And so 2 minutes after that, Mark, you were mentioning the subs. We had 2 subs on each side. Yao Yaboa comes in for... Who did he come in for?
Ramirez
and Zawadzki came on for Matan. I'm messing this up.
Nagby.
Nagby.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they brought on people I don't know. Fortune and Rosetto.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, it looks like there was a few other subs toward the end of the regulation time. And then we had one more in stoppage time, yeah?
Yes. The sub who came on in the 82nd minute, Max Arfston, gets his first goal for the team, which honestly, all credit goes to Sands. Sands totally burnt Lennon down the left-hand side. Played the ball around him one way, ran around him the other way to beat him to it. Then played the ball towards the penalty spot. Arfston was there, and I think Parente was also just behind, or Zawadzki, I'm not sure which one. One of them was directly behind him where if Arfston didn't get on it, someone else would have.
Yeah.
It's a good finish, though.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, so, I mean, we talked a little bit about whether the missing faces, you know, how that balanced the result of the game, but I mean, what do you guys think overall? Is this a crew hope? Is this an anomaly? We just take the points and go to next week. What's your feel?
I want to feel like it. Go ahead, Ben. No, you're fine.
Yes, you are.
You're fine. Hold on, I'll go. Shut up. I want this to be a crew hope going forward. Everything in my brain is going, don't believe it, don't believe it, don't believe it. There were so many good things that happened in the second half of this game from the young players that is what I want to see going forward. I'm just going to hold reservations until we continue to see it replicated. Atlanta was missing players, and I think it had a lot bigger impact on them than it did us. Okay, Ben.
Yeah, can you at least mute yourself when you angrily type on the keyboard?
You can't hear us. He's gone. All right, Ben quit this week.
All right. Well, yeah.
What do you think, Mort?
So, there is never a bad thing to win 6-1. It's never a bad thing to get so many people that is dependent of goals for the success to get a goal. Never a good thing. A lot of the people that we need to come in during the season and make an impact, making an impact. So from that sense, it was excellent. And I think we have to take the positives, get the positive vibes and just go with it. So, yeah, you can't complain. Yeah, you can say it probably would have been 6-1, but,
yeah,
you know, we'll take it.
Okay, and then, Hawes, I know that you had some extra things you wanted to pepper in on this game. What did you want to share?
So, yeah, while it may have been, you know, an odd matchup, considering all the players out, 4 players scored their first MLS goal in the same game. For the first time. That was Morris, Quinton, Russell Rowe, and Arfston. Mm-hmm. No other team has ever accomplished this after 1996. So, first year of the league.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We also had...
That sounds like something that could have been on a
I hope I'm not
quiz
ruining some questions here. We had 5 players score their first crew goal in the same game, which no other team has ever done.
Uh-huh.
First goal for the crew.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And that didn't even happen in 1996.
So just to make a point here, I do also believe that no other teams have had 5 people scoring the first goal for
Correct. Correct.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm just repeating that.
And then
it seems unlikely.
Christian Ramirez
the first crew goal ever scored was not by crew player.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Just throwing that out there.
as we found out.
Christian Ramirez joins one other crew player to score multiple goals in their first competitive debut for the crew.
Well, that's got to be a quiz question.
On a Saturday.
No, just there. Any guesses at that? Who that player is?
Wait, what was the question?
Christian Ramirez joins one other crew player to score multiple goals in their first competitive debut for the crew.
Oh, Brian McBride.
Yep.
Oh.
What?
So
Guess you can scratch
all
that.
of that information that I just spoke came straight from Steve Sirk. I did not do the research. Steve Sirk is the man. Check him out. SteveSirkBook.com. He's got some great books about the history of the crew.
Yep.
He does great work. He's not constantly reporting on them like a beat writer anymore, but great work coming from Steve Sirk.
Agree.
yes, I loved what you spoke. Yeah, and then Haas, did you have anything else to add on like what you thought about the game? I mean, do you feel like it's just a lucky break, or what do you think?
I think it's a little bit lucky, but I also think the fact that our backups, our subs, again, people that played together with Crew 2 that have now been worked into the main team, it's great seeing them put together a solid game, even without some of the major names out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to that point, I saw some write-ups about this too from people on Twitter, pundits that were mentioning how young Crew was doing this. I think we have an average age under 23 or something like that on the field. Especially at the end, we were pure view 21 to 23 team kind of playing. Yep. And that's a good thing.
Last note I have here on the Atlanta game is this quote from Bailey Johnson.
Yep.
Who put that one on there?
Bended.
Okay. Well, so we'll read it.
Columbus Dispatch beat writer.
Yeah. So she said, the one sweeping comment I'll make is that I saw everyone who was saying things about Philip Quinton after last week, and I think many of you need to apologize. We can be critical. Haas says Tracy needs to apologize. We could be critical of players without being cruel, and some of the comments I saw last week crossed a line.
I will apologize for being negative on it. I was not cruel and I was not mean.
I completely agree.
I was
trying to be fair.
Yeah. In my fever dream, I did listen to last week's episode where you guys carried on without me, and I think Tracy was critical, but I don't even know if you named him, Trey. I think you
tried not to.
I tried not
to at one point.
Yeah.
He tried not to.
Anyway, I think we've done more than our fair share of acknowledging what a great job he did this week, and hopefully that continues. So,
yep.
All right. Well, let's wrap up that the review from the Atlanta game. I know that we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we're going to do our second installment of the Shootout with Chris Deville. So,
all right,
we'll be right trap.
Right.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's great to be here. Just for reference, I was going to ask from the Cirque article the Christian Ramirez trivia question about who was the only other player to score twice in their crew debut. We could have questions about the first ever crew game 2 installments in a row. Anyway, we will skip that question.
Okay.
You guys ready for the first question?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's do it.
First of 5 questions. Columbus scored 6 goals, as you know, against Atlanta this past weekend. How many times in crew history has the team scored 6 goals, including this Atlanta game? A, 4, B, 8, C, 10, or D, 14?
Okay. All right. So how many times has the crew scored 6 goals? That's A4, B8, C10, D14.
All matchups?
Yes.
I'm assuming?
All, yeah.
Oh,
Not like preseason, but like
No.
matchups that count towards something.
No,
You know what?
Cup
Actually,
games,
I'm not
MLS
going to be
games,
able
Cup
to
games.
vouch for exhibitions. They might have run up the score on Leeds United or something back in
All right, you
'97.
guys ready? Guys ready? Take a stand. Stop wasting time. You guys are just buying time. Hold your answers up. See it. A, C.
The answer is A4.
4.
All right.
Congrats to Trey and to Haas.
See,
Anything
Yeah,
over
all the other
4
times
seems
were
awfully high. Yeah.
all the other times were from 2003 and before. I noticed in the dispatch story they said it was the first time since 2003. So that made it pretty easy to look up.
see, I was gonna go with a lower number until it was uncertainty about.
You're welcome.
Well, I muddied the waters
Asterisk
for you.
on this one too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still would have been wrong.
Okay.
All right. So that was all right. So Mort missed and Haas and Trey got it right.
Okay, so this coming weekend, this is our second question. This coming weekend, the crew is set to play against Real Salt Lake. This is only 3 potential answers. All-time crew record against Real Salt Lake. A, winning. B, losing. C, dead even.
Okay. So all-time record. We've either A, won more games, B, lost more games,
That's right.
or C, it's even.
How did I not see this when preparing for the episode?
You got to get ready for the shootout, man. You have to know which way the ball's going to go. Got to study. Got to study Deville.
All right, you
What do
guys
think,
ready?
guys? Yeah.
Yep.
Let's
Hold 'em
see
up.
it.
Oz says
Oh,
B.
crap,
Mort
my screen
says
flipped.
A.
That's big.
And Trey also
The-
says B.
The answer is A, winning record all-time against
Oh,
Mordor.
all right, I'll take it.
Okay. So was that
It was,
a Mort got
I
it and no one
believe,
else did?
I believe it was 3 games above 500. I don't remember the exact. I should have written down the exact record. But okay, so yeah, we're 2 questions in. Third question. How many players all time on the crew have been named Brian?
Life of Brian.
Your potential answers are A, 3, B, 6, C, 10, and D, 11.
While you think we will listen to Brian's song.
Again, the question is,
yeah.
how many crew players in the entire history of the franchise have been named Brian? A, 3, B, 6, C, 10, D, 11. You guys ready?
Did we get an extra? Yeah.
All right, let's see it.
Haas says D. Mort says
D.
C.
You guys are all wrong. The answer is
D.
B, 6.
Oh, the fake out.
Brian.
You would think it would be more. I went through the roster, all-time roster. I found Brian Bliss, Brian Carroll, Brian Dunseth, Brian Mazanov, Brian McBride, Brian West. So,
Is that it?
Yep. Hit me
Such
with
a
another
common
Brian if
name.
you can think of one, but I
No,
believe
my
6.
problem was I had 5 of those in my head, so I'm like, there has to be more than that. Like,
Right.
Well, it really tapered off in recent years.
Were there any O'Briens? And would those have counted?
You know, I did not even
I
check.
remember.
I was no one with the first name O'Brien.
Right.
They're all Brian. Also, there's no Bryans.
Oh, interesting.
Or like
Very
my coworker Tom Bryan has the Irish spelling, Breihan. None of those either.
Oh, yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, I thought his name was Brehan for a long time.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
moving on. Question number 4. Which goalie has logged the most appearances for the Crew? Is it A, Will Hesmer, B, Zach Steffen, C, Steve Clark, or D, Eloy Room?
Read the order again.
Goalie with most appearances for the Crew. Is it A, Will Hesmer, B, Zach Steffen, C, Steve Clark, and D, Eloy Room?
Okay.
Tell you what,
which
it's
one of
not
them
Brad
is scoring.
Friedel. Would have been cool if Friedel would have stuck around a little bit longer. You guys ready?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I got it. Haas says A, has
Got a backwards C over here. The answer is A, Will Hesmer. By a long margin. For he beat out Steffen by it was like Hesmer has 137 and Steffen I think had 82 or something. I didn't write down Steffen's total.
5 seasons for Hesmer, right?
I was thinking Steffen was longer than, I don't know. I had convinced myself when I was looking it up. Maybe it was Steffen.
Oh, I guess Room has kind of been. I guess Room was here a long time, but it was through like COVID.
That's true. He probably had
that kind of
fewer games in 2020.
Steffen and Clark were kind of back to back as well. So I mean, those two seemed like it was a lot longer than it was, but
yeah, Clark.
I like Steve.
Was probably. I did hit the least.
After I got to Hesmer on the all-time Columbus Crew appearances, I didn't look that hard after that. I didn't dig deep into the goalie stats. There wasn't an itemized goalies only list to pour through. Okay, so now we got the
hold on.
final.
I want to ask a follow. Do you guys know which one of those goalkeepers has scored?
Yeah, it's Hesmer, isn't it?
Yeah. You remember that goal?
Legendary goal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like... No,
he shot.
Yeah,
it was a shot,
he was in the box, and it came to his foot.
Volleyed it.
And he, it looked like a kid practicing a... He settled it, looked at it, and, kicked it without moving any other part of his body. And it was incredible.
It was in Toronto, and wasn't that in stoppage at the end of the game to tie it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that came up in passing in that Steve Cirque stats article this week because he was kind of making a little dig at Danny O'Rourke, saying that all these players were passing from the Danny O'Rourke level to the Will Hesmer level of scoring.
0 to 1, baby.
Yeah. Okay, I had to add on this 5th question at the last minute. It is, like I said, a little out there. Which year were the Cruisers cheerleading squad discontinued?
Okay.
A, 2008, B, 2011, C, 2012, D, 2015.
Okay. I've got my guess.
All right, let's see the answers. Pause hit us with an A. Everybody hit the A. It's actually C, 2012.
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Here's an article
I can't
from
remember
2012 from ultimatecheerleaders.com. Says farewell cruiser.
Sounds like Ben's kind of website.
Okay, you know what though?
They might have kept it together. They might have kept it together and kind of had their own little. I messed this up though because I think I shouldn't have given you 2011 as an option because technically after the 2011 season they were discontinued. Fortunately, you all guessed 2008. So
I avoided fiasco.
Yeah. Well, so this jersey. Oh, I guess you can't really see it, but remember this jersey, this team signed jersey behind me. Are you guys still with me? Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yep.
You know, we went to that. You remember they used to do the end of the year banquet casino night thing. Do they still do
yeah.
that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not like that.
Well,
I mean, like,
me
I don't know if they stopped that because of COVID or if it was like a pre-court slashing the budget kind of thing or what.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I know when we won that jersey, it was at that casino night. Lauren and Claire and I, the two, me and Chris and those two were all in a band together at the time. We went to that casino night, and they had all the players there, and like the cruisers were there. I know this was like, I think it was 2009, and we ran the roulette. I think it was roulette or blackjack or something. We ended up taking our $1,000 in chips and getting $47,000, and we put all of our tickets into the signed jersey bucket, and that's how we won the jersey. And that's how I knew that the cruisers were still around after 2008. All right,
fact.
so
Nice.
Here's what I see is Haas had 2, Trey had 1, Mort had 1. Did I get that right? Okay, so Haas wins the second shootout. Congratulations, Haas.
Congrats to Haas.
40%
Thank you.
success
Thank
rate.
you.
I feel like
Roughing
it's
up
Christmas
that
Day.
roughing up that spot was well.
You mean
worth
my
it for
birthday?
Haas.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And then and Ben did not participate, so he was awarded no points. Okay, well that's great, Chris. As always, great work. We look forward to having you back for the next installment.
I look forward to it as well.
And before you go, what are you promoting today? Anything
What
you'd
am I
like
promoting?
Just pick something.
I am appearing next week at Ohio University at the Music Industry Summit. That's pretty cool. Got my little headshot. As far as
How was South by Southwest?
South by, I haven't been for a few years, partially because of COVID and, partially for reasons. But it was good. It was like it reminded me of the glory of cramming 12 bands into one day.
Yeah.
My old age need those jolts. We threw a really good show, which I promoted on the last episode.
Yes.
That was very fun. Gonna have lots of video content coming out from that. You should watch the video. Whenever we publish them on Stereogum, you should watch the videos of Frost Children. Very interesting characters.
Okay.
So
and
check it out.
Where can folks find you on the World Wide Web?
They can find me on Elon Musk's Twitter at Chris Deville. And that's pretty much it. But they won't be able to find me in the For You tab pretty soon because they just said that only paid accounts will be appearing in the For You tab. So that's fun. There and at stereogum.com. You can find all kinds of articles by me.
Well, I follow you on Twitter, and I've seen a lot of bands that I never knew.
There's a whole education waiting to be had.
All right. Thanks, Chris. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
Thanks
Chris.
a lot.
Thanks, Chris.
Later, man.
Thanks, Chris.
And we're back. Thanks again to Chris Deville for hosting another shootout. That was fun. And Haas won this week, but we're going to jump right over to the Crew 2 update from the Crew Discord's President Bird. So thanks to him for putting it together, and we'll cut over to that now.
The Crew 2 season started on Sunday against New York Red Bulls in New York, and the team looked very different from where they did last season. A few key pieces have stayed, like Abdi Mohamed, Captain Marco Micheledo, and attacker Noah Fuson, but a lot more focus this year will be put in Academy, like bringing in players like Taha Brown and Giorgio De Libera to play with the Capybaras. We also did some signings, like bringing Gibran Rayo and Clay Hosted to the play. While the squad was new, the formation was very familiar. They used the same 3-4-3, or 3-4-2-1 if you want to be a specific formation, that the Capybaras used last season, and you noticed that's what the crew has been using under Ufer Nancy as well. The crew struggled from New York's high pressure all game. Their goal, New York's goal, came from a bad clearance caused by that pressure. Later, Columbus would dominate possession, but New York was the more dangerous team throughout. And I expected this to be a tough game. They played with 8 players with first-team contracts, while we had 5 academy players on the field. The Capybaras maintained the intensity and tactical discipline through the entire game, which was great to see. And at the very last play, we got a corner, and match MVP Abdi Mohamed scored the tying header. In the MLS Next Pro, there are no ties, so the game went into a PK shootout, and the winner, the crew, too, got to take 2 points home. New York, the loser of the shootout, took 1. And if we're going to speak about the crew, the first team, well, I think that the next game is going to be a good one for them. RSL is coming from 3 straight losses, and the crew had their best collective game of the season on Saturday. I'm optimistic about the coming matchup, especially since we're going to get a few returning pieces like Lucas Elarayan and Milos in room, and we'll be playing at home. I think we'll see a 3-0 victory by the crew, with goals by Ramirez, JIR, and Matan.
Welcome back to the club. I think we're going to go through a few more things here and then sign off. First things first, does this week have a theme? Trey, does it?
Yes, it is Youth Soccer Night at lower.com.
Okay. What does that mean?
I'm assuming it's a bunch of youths running around.
I mean, I kind of feel like that's what we saw against Atlanta. So maybe
True.
that will bode well for our result against RSL. Yes, so we're playing Real Salt Lake on April 1st. Before we get into that, I do have a note here. There was some I don't know why this seems like twice unverified, but there was some article that was out there about trying to get Messi to come to MLS, and that that he could choose wherever he wants to play, and all the owners would pay. Is there any truth to this? Is it worth talking about? Is it just controversial?
There better not be.
No? All right.
If there was truth to it, why would we actually know about it?
Yeah, what do you ask if it's us?
All right. What if Derek Jeter could play for the Miami? What are they? They're just Miami FC.
Inter Miami.
Inter
Miami.
Yeah, Derek Jeter or like Wayne Gretzky. We should do it. We should get them all on Miami. David Beckham, get him out there.
LeBron. Back to Miami.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll skip that story. Thoughts on St. Louis starting 5-0? What does it mean?
Good for them.
What does it mean?
Hold on.
Should we relegate the entire league? Just put St. Louis in their own MLS Premier League?
They benefited from getting the extra year with COVID. They were able to play their entire team last year in the Crew 2 League, the Pro Development League.
MLS Next Pro.
Yes. So I think that was really beneficial to them, and then I think they spent their money well.
They signed people early.
Yeah.
I think maybe even before last year they had some players signed. So, and they're taking it to people. I mean, they've been gifted. That I remember off the top of my head, 3 back passes directly to them for goals. I don't think they were game winners. The last one against RSL was definitely not a game winner because I think it was the 3rd or 4th goal in that game that they won 4-0 in Sandy, Utah, not Salt Lake. But
was that a dig at Salt Lake?
No, just that's not where they're located. It's Real Salt Lake, but it's Sandy, Utah. It's New York Red Bull, New Jersey.
I hope Deville isn't going to ask us where RSL actually plays next time. It's just...
I went to the away game last year.
So there's no doubt that they have something good going on. And when you look at the club, it seems like one of those clubs that have like soccer, the fans, like that comes first. And then everything else comes after. So I think they have a very good setup. I mean, they're coming in, the stadium's already there. Like you said, they plan early and all that. They've all also been a little lucky with who they've gotten and the timing. They've hit at some teams that have not been on form, and they were hitting like Austin the weekend before. Yeah, first game before they're going to go into Champions League the same week, and there was a couple of things like that. So I mean, it's impressive. We'll see if it continues, but man, they have put himself up for a very
I tell you what, the one thing that actually moving forward is a little bit scary about, and Mort, you probably could speak to this a little bit, about St. Louis is that area has always been a hotbed in this country, and it's been pretty untapped in the MLS. I mean, Chicago's tried a little bit, but if they're able to actually bring some of the homegrown talent up, you could see a team that consistently is fighting for top spots in their conference. So that'll be interesting moving forward.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that team should come to stay and be good.
Looking forward to RSL this weekend. How have they been doing this season? I think they've got a losing record, right?
Yeah, they're bad.
They 1-3. Their last loss was to St. Louis, like we just mentioned. They've had 3 goals for them, 9 goals against. 4 of them were the last game, so that just kind of skews things a little bit. Their goal scorer, Justin Glad is a defender and has 2 goals. Damir Krylak has 1 goal, so they have 3 goals for.
Okay. And Justin Miram is
he's on the team.
Is royalty, yes. Okay.
Meat Hook.
Yep.
How many Justins do you think have played for RSL?
No idea.
I don't know. I mean, we're happy to see him back. A crew who came here multiple times, and I mean, he served time well here. Not my favorite player per se, but a good player.
Yeah, I always liked watching him play. He was kind of like the complement or the equal weight to Ethan Finley for a while, right? Those two guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like him because he winked at my wife one time, but that's
one time.
One time.
All right.
That's
that you know about.
Yeah. Have you grudges? No, he was a player that I always say, like, oh man, he plays so bad. He's awful. He needs to do something.
Yeah, that one
Those
season,
meat
the Meat Hook season, I feel like that was like a ladder season too, where it was like, what is happening? Like he used to just cross the ball, and now he's just crossing it into the goal. Okay. All right. Well, I think then it's time. It's time for us to do our predictions. Let's see. How are we going to do this? I did message Ben earlier because he rage quit this episode in the middle. He had not gone to sleep. He says 2-0 Crew.
Well, and we still have some question marks real quick. We don't know how much time Deganek is going to get, if he's going to get any of the international call-ups. Deganek, Zelrayan, Room. We believe Cucho is still out.
Oh, yeah, I think he's out.
Yeah, he should be.
For a few more weeks. I think 3 to 4 more weeks, whatever it could be. Just things I wanted to mention before we throw the scores out.
So Ben says 2-0. Mort, you're keeping track of this. Oh, I'm sorry. We need to review the results. I skimmed over that on when I was
yes, we do.
In the infirmary myself. I want to take a minute here. I mentioned it earlier. I did listen to last week's episode. I appreciate you guys, running the show here without me. I know that, things were a little more loose than usual. Maybe some cards would have been shown. But I thought the episode sounded good. I was going to dig into Ben on a few things that he said, but I'll leave him alone. And then you asked me for my predictions. Now, when you asked me during the episode, I think I was very nearly dead. But when I was revived the next day, my prediction was that we were going to lose. And I have to say, as the first person who has bet against the crew, I didn't want to do it. I felt like it was a prudent, a thoughtful prediction. We weren't looking top of form. We were playing the top team in our conference. But I'll tell you, it was enjoyable to be wrong. So just words from the other side.
Yeah,
I just want
go.
you guys to know I have dipped my toe in the pool of blasphemy, and it's a little refreshing to be wrong when you predict against the team. So I'll throw that out there. So Mort, go ahead. Give us our update from last week.
Yeah, so we already mentioned we have somewhat of a narrow win this week of 6-1, and wouldn't you know it,
No one guessed
nobody
that. Okay, all right.
was
Okay.
picking that score. Nobody guessed that. But let's go through it. So Haas was probably closest with
Okay.
a 2-0 victory to Crew. Trey was taking a tie. Ben, a 2-1 win. I was believing that we will keep them out of our goal and win 1-0. Morris, of course, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I wanted us to lose,
us
right?
Actively
Wanted.
rooting
Keyword.
against us.
Yeah.
So just note that. But so in the scoring summary we keep, and we've been having some input on maybe the alternative way to keep score, as we are not really always hitting the mark very well. I think we have zero exact predictions so far. So, but per the way we do today, before we take anything else into evaluation for alternative scoring, Ben has 2
Okay.
points. The
All right,
rest
so
of us
Ben
has
is in the
1.
lead. Congratulations,
On the
Ben.
board.
Um,
Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my accuracy as a group so far compared to points earned is 54%. So we're over
Okay.
the 50% marker.
all right.
Good job.
So are we ready to lay it down for this week?
Yep.
Okay. Mort.
Wow, this is a tough one because you have a team that's been loose, and are they going to end that streak? Are we going to continue ours? And yes, we are. We're going to score 2 goals. They're going to score
Okay.
none because they don't score any goals.
Another 2-0.
So
all right.
2-0 Crew.
Trey. Shaking
Lord,
his
ye
head.
of little faith. 3-0 Crew.
3-0. Okay.
That's where I'm going.
Oh,
Okay.
booyah.
So Salt Lake won their first game of the season on the road in Vancouver.
Mhm.
2-1. I'm going 3-1 Crew at home.
Okay. I like it.
Defense is still figuring things out. We don't know if Deganek's going to be back. Room's going to be back. 3-1.
Okay. All right. I will say I like the 3-0. But I'm gonna, man. Let's say. Can I use letters?
Yeah.
I dash.
Let's do. I know.
Let's keep this
I know.
episode a little
Just cut all
tighter.
this out. Just cut all this out.
You said.
I can't.
I'll give you a new cut. Well, this will be part of the video of me just squirming here. All right, I'm gonna say 3-0 also.
Okay. And Ben's in with
2-0.
2-0. So 3-0, 3-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-1.
3-1.
3-1. 3-1.
Wow. With an average score of
It's gonna be
3-0.
great. we're all just so reactive, right? I mean, I think if you went back and looked at our predictions, it's all just like based on the last game. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Before we go, we need to make sure we promote the Black Flag Social Club tailgate. Where's that on the north side?
Yeah,
North side.
North side and the what is it's something like 854 Nordeck Lane or Nordeck Way. It's in the north lot.
Okay.
Black Flag Social, 2:30 to
north.
6:30, and then Haas had mentioned last week, I believe, where the team entrance from the bus.
Oh yeah, it's just there on the west side of the stadium.
Yeah, I believe that's happening 5:55.
Yeah, that sounds right. 5:55 for a 7:30 kickoff.
Yeah. So those are a couple of cool things you can do. And again, like we mentioned last week, if you don't have a ticket to the game, Land Grant is always a fun place to go. Betty's down in the Arena District. Boston's is always fun. Arbor.
Do they show the game at either of those places?
I would imagine that
with
Betty's
Apple.
would at
That's
least.
what I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. If not, just getting down to get in the atmosphere, coming down, having fun, tailgate a little bit, head over to a bar, get something to eat. It's just always a fun place to come. So,
and we mentioned
as of now, we got
go ahead, Haas.
predictions of 56 as the high, AM showers, and 25-mile-an-hour winds.
Woo! We'll wear a coat.
Yeah, pack that second coat.
More.
Oh, and then I see here also
this time
Old
for
Fields
sure.
for Crew 2, right? I heard that on the last episode.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
For away games.
All right. Well, we'll
Yes.
see you guys there. Go Crew.
Maybe. Go Crew.
Go Crew!
Go Crew!
Oh, we're gonna stay out too late, laugh till we faint. Tomorrow morning, I know that I'm gonna be in pain. We'll stay out all night, drink till sunrise, hanging at the bars.
Thanks, everyone, for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off-season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!